Dr. Alfred Mutua, who is the Cabinet Secretary of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs of Kenya, spoke nothing but the truth. Let me show you this clip. We'll come back and discuss.
My brothers and sisters, I think let us be a bit realistic about what is going on in the world today. Many years ago, in Berlin, Europeans sat down and subdivided our continent, at times separating a brother from our sister. After they finished doing that and colonizing us, they went ahead and taught us to fear, hate, and keep away from each other. So you are my neighbor, but I fear you, and I don't want to mingle with you. Let me give you an example and use a few African examples. Today, it is easier for a European to travel within Europe without requirement of a visa. They can trade, make money, visit each other, spend money, and the European Union area, they're making a lot of money, they're becoming rich and rich every day. In Africa, our former colonies and what they taught us still prevails. Then they mingle among each other. Today in Africa, the reality is that for an African to visit a European nation, an ordinary African, to visit a European nation, is like, let me give you an example my teacher used to use. It's like trying to milk an elephant because of the visa process. However, for a European to visit an African nation, most of our nations, it is like a walk on the beach. It's like going to have a cup of tea. But then that is not the problem. The tragedy is that now for an African to visit a fellow African within the African Union, the visa restrictions in many of our nations, among us, between our brothers and sisters, is like trying to brush the teeth of a crocodile. They came, divided us, and they have taught us to keep each other from each other. Then they're mingling with each other and making money and growing, but they have taught us to hate each other. But for us to really enjoy the true economic benefits of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, we need to behave like the Europeans and allow for the free movement of people and trade. Our development agencies, such as the African Union Development Agency and others, cannot really succeed when there are all these restrictions among ourselves. To this end, in our contribution to this continental aspiration, Kenya is committed to progressively, and we are moving very fast by the end of this year, to abolish visas to citizens from African Union member states to make it easier to invest and do business in Kenya and across the continent. We are going to open the borders of Kenya. We do not fear our fellow Africans. Come, travel to Kenya. Live, do business in Kenya. Trade, make money in Kenya. And we hope we'll get reciprocity with the rest of you. Let us open our continent so that we can make money and live together. Let us remove the shackles of colonialism that are still embedded in our heads.
He said they taught us to hate each other. What he is saying is so true. It's very hard to travel within Africa. It's really hard to travel for Africans to travel outside of Africa, but it's so easy for Europeans or anybody from the West to travel to African countries. He said it's like going out to get tea for them, but for us to travel outside of Africa, it's like trying to milk an elephant. And for Africans trying to travel within Africa, it's like trying to brush crocodile's teeth. And that is so accurate. It is so unfortunate how neighboring countries can find it hard to trade with one another, to visit one another, and most importantly, to make money. You cannot do that because it's so hard and there's so much visa restriction in Africa, and it was by design. Let me give you an example. If you're trying to travel from Kenya to Ethiopia, you're going to pay almost $1,000. It's like $800, $900. But for you to travel to Dubai, to Turkey, it's about $400, $500. Just imagine, from Kenya to Ethiopia, it's a 2-hour flight. It's extremely close because they're neighboring countries. But from Kenya to Dubai, which is a 6-hour flight, it's half the price. Why is it like that? It's even sometimes cheaper to travel from Kenya to the United States if you find a deal, but it's way more expensive to travel to a neighboring country, and it goes to other countries in Africa as well. And this is something that needed to be addressed, and I'm glad he addressed it. And I really hope the people that are in that position to make the change can make the necessary change, because our people are losing in money, in relationship, in experience, just because someone back in the days came and messed it up for us because they didn't want us to unite. So I think it's the right time to make that change. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this. I am Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.